Hi there, I'm James Martin, and happy Christmas from me and the crew. What a pleasure it is to be here on ITV on Christmas Day. What a show I've got lined up for you today. Two of the best chefs in the world, a member of one of the biggest boy bands, and a true broadcasting legend. Plus, the best chocolatier in the business. And these guys, the Kingdom Choir. Happy Christmas.
Morning. Are you coming in then?
Good morning and happy Christmas to one and all. And what a show we got lined up for you today. Trust me, over the next 2 hours, this is going to be pretty special. We've got Danny Jones from Upfly will be here. Also, of course, in The Voice, he'll be rocking around the Christmas tree a little bit later. I'll be dishing up a coffee roulade in today's mouth-watering meringue masterclass. Top chocolatier Matt Tebbutt will be back. Wait till you see what he's going to be producing. It is going to be sensational, trust me. And I'll be joined all morning by the legend, Mr. Eamon Holmes will be in the house. And to top it all off, I'm here in the kitchen with two top chefs who will be cooking for us later. They're good friends of the show. They clearly had nothing else to do today. It's Mr. Paul Ainsworth and Sam Bains. Now, for my first dish of this Christmas, these guys are going to be here all morning. We're going to talk about Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to cook Brussels sprouts sort of three ways, really. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to deep fat fry some. So what you do with these, we just chop them in halves. Obviously, leave the root on as well. But these deep fat fried, I don't know whether you guys have ever had deep fried Brussels sprouts.
Similar. Have you seen like them calettes? They're like them, but they're like little cabbages. Deep fry them. They're lovely.
Yeah. And how long will they take to cook and what temperature?
About 160 for about 4 minutes.
OK, cool. Never had them deep fried.
You want to cook them so they just go sort of brown, really. You don't want to cook them so they stay green. So they just go that sort of little bit of crunch with them as well. So you just take the Brussels sprouts. We'll take that and out, and then pop these in. And then I thought I'd do this with a little miso caramel. Nice little simple little miso caramel to go with it. But you're just going to pop these in there, and they're just going to cook nicely. So most important bit is don't wash them, whatever you do, so it just sprays everywhere. So while that's cooking, I'm actually going to get on and serve this, like I said, three ways. We're going to do a little salmon, so I'm just cook it with a little bit of salmon with some Brussels sprouts as well. Just get that on and pop it in the oven. So a little bit of butter in the pan, black pepper, two nice little bits of salmon pieces, because we've got two chefs in the house. There we go. Two nice bits of salmon. And I'm just going to get these pan frying and pop these in the oven, first of all. So they're going to go in here. So that's that bit in. That's that one. Just get a nice little, start that off and pop it straight in the oven. Finish that cooking. Once about sort of 5-6 minutes. Meanwhile, I'll quickly wash my hands. Now, hopefully, by the power of the internet, even on Christmas Day and the power of TV, we can go all the way up to Scotland to meet a man who makes sure you end up with sprouts on your table each and every Christmas. From Drysdales in Berwickshire. It's a brilliant Gavin Mill. He's there in the middle of the field. I love this. And a sunny day in Scotland.
Just normal weather, you know, all the time.
Normal weather. So tell me, Gavin, we've got the chefs here excited about this. Look at what you've got in front of you. I mean, you guys produce a tremendous amount of sprouts each and every year. Explain to us what it is, where you are in terms of the UK and what you do.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're one of the largest growers and packers of Brussels sprouts in the UK and Europe. So every year we plant over 1,000 acres of Brussels sprouts, and every day we'll be planting thousands and thousands of plants. So this year we planted 18 million of these little plants that have now grown into these big stalks here. You're thinking about how many buttons are on a stalk, so the little sprouts that are on the plants once they're growing, that'll be about 40 or 50 per stalk. So you're talking 800 million actual sprouts that we've grown this year. And yeah, basically what happens, we'll get a good bit of sunshine hopefully in the summer, even in Scotland, but we will get some rain as well, which we need. We get the nutrients from the soil and they'll grow through that sort of summer period. And we're hopefully getting some sprouts ready by the end of August, but they're very early season sprouts. And then we get into September, October, really into the sort of core period where there's more varieties of sprouts that'll grow more traditionally during that period. And yeah, we're basically into the harvesting from September onwards, and it's right the way through to March, the sort of traditional UK growing season. But we're always trying to get them a little bit earlier.
Well, I've got some here that I'm just basically going to saute off. I've deep fried some. I've got some crispy bacon over here and sorted it off. But I can't help but watch the guys' faces to my side here that are gobsmacked.
I think one thing you said was the variety. I'm just surprised how many varieties there are of Brussels sprouts. So how many is there, Gavin?
Yeah, well, we grow 23 different varieties of sprouts, so they've all got interesting names like Doric. We're in a Petrus field at the moment. There's Cabelius, there's Martinez. And the reason there's so many varieties is that each of them has a different sort of growth rate. So we've got one called Speedia that'll be ready at the end of August. The Petrus is more a winter variety, so your December time, maybe into January.
And what about the flavour profile of each one? Is it quite different or similar?
Basically what's happened over years, it's probably helped the sales and the growth of sprouts. The flavour profiles have changed a bit, and they've been developed to be a little bit more subtle than your sort of traditional bitter sprouty variety. There's still a few of those out there, and some people love those, but really they have become a little bit more subtle in flavour. But you can notice a difference, you know. In our factory, certain people will be like, oh, Christmas time, we've got those ones. I want the Martinez variety, or I want the Doric variety, because they like a certain flavour to the sprouts. But yeah, it's really to get the whole season and to be able to sort of progress that season as far as possible in the UK growing series.
It is amazing to see it like this, isn't it, really?
Gavin, can I ask?
Yeah.
First of all, do you like sprouts? As in eating them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, if people come for a job for us and with us and they tell us they don't like sprouts, everyone sort of looks at them a bit strangely, you know.
Yeah, they haven't got the job.
But no, they have to have. I've got two kids, so they get force-fed them like most Sundays, you know, with a roast dinner. You know, I'm very much roast the sprouts. I like it that sort of way. Or if you're going to boil them, very light boil, like 3 minutes, nothing too heavy. Yeah. Always have the debate on Christmas Day with my father-in-law around. He's a little bit more traditional with a deep cross in them and the long cook until they're sort of grey. He won't be happy with me saying that, but that's just the different styles. Like, you know, what people...
When the kitchen windows are all steamed up and there's that funny smell in the kitchen, he likes it like that.
Then they're ready.
That's
the traditional way, yes. So
there'll be people
so
doing that across the country at the moment, so we're not saying anything other, but they'll be panicking as well. But Gavin, thank you very much for everything you're doing as well. And thanks for, seriously, all the guys in the farm there, for everything you're doing. I totally admire what you're doing. I know it's a hell of a lot of work to produce this food that we get on our plates. We take it, to be honest, we take it for granted so often.
Yeah.
But it's when we link to you guys as well, and you're working, 365 days a year doing what you're doing. So I want to say, on behalf of everybody, thank you for doing what you're doing as well. The products are amazing. The chefs are about to taste it, and I will come and visit very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Gavin. Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
It's amazing. So what we've got in here is we've got the Brussels sprouts, which I cook traditionally.
Yeah.
I've got my salmon, which I've cooked with a little bit of cream. And the final one, these deep-fried Brussels sprouts. These are the deep-fried ones. So you can actually take the tops of the Brussels sprouts as well, but you've got to take them till you get this little brown bit. They are amazing.
Really like the idea of swapping out the lettuce. And with the peas and the bacon.
Have that one. You can have that one, even in your Michelin star restaurants. You can have that one, boys.
You can't leave it, can you?
You can't.
Give him a compliment, Sam. That's a nice dish.
I've got plenty of
Yeah. And then
it won't be a compliment. You got your fingers crossed or your legs crossed, one of the two. It won't be a genuine compliment. But look, we've got this.
James, I really think that's delicious.
Yeah. You see, it started already. I was going to suggest, we're not very Christmassy. It's nice of you guys to make an effort. So can you wear a hat?
Turkey.
You want the turkey?
Oh, okay. I'll have Santa Claus.
So it's Santa Claus.
He'll cover my
I want to
shaving
be.
incident.
This is the closest I'll ever get to Joey on Friends.
Go on then.
Look at that, man. I love it.
All right, I got the turkey.
Now that actually suits you, actually. Right, look, we're going to take this miso caramel, which is just, it's white miso paste, which is this, fermented soybean paste. It's mirin and sugar. And you just cook it until it goes to this nice little caramel colour. There you have it, 3 dishes, done. Easy as that. There you go, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Happy Christmas.
Very nice.
Christmas.
Thank you.
I'll put the other one on top of the sprouts over here, so you can have a taste of that one.
Amazing.
But is that how you would cook yours, or?
I've cooked mine like this, yeah.
Like this,
Or
just-
do like, you know, you do confit cabbage.
Yeah.
Do confit sprouts on the
Same.
mandolin. Yeah, exactly. Duck
Same.
fat.
With duck fat?
Time,
Wow.
yeah.
Right, coming up, I'll be celebrating the big day with my guests Eamon Holmes and Danny Jones, and plus top chocolatier Mark Tillin will be serving up something pretty special later on. But don't go anywhere, because after the break, Mr. Paul Ainsworth will be taking his turn to take over the kitchen and spread some Christmas cheer. I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back. Now I've got a masterclass in meringue coming your way very shortly, and I'll be cooking for my guests Eamon Holmes and McFly's Danny Jones very shortly. But first, we're having a Cornish Christmas with a chef who puts the ho-ho-ho into padstow. It's Paul Ainsworth! How you doing, Chefy?
I mean...
What's wrong with that? You pull it off. It's brilliant. It suits you, doesn't it?
I want to season it.
You want to see?
All I'm saying is...
I thought you said it's better than when you want to stuff it.
Things I do for food.
Oh,
right,
no.
so we're going to start off with...
You're a bad man, James.
I wanted to do a dish. Everyone's watching this Christmas Day. Happy Christmas, everyone. And something that is a bit special, you might want to do like New Year's Eve. You know, everyone does a dinner party New Year's Eve. So this morning, our mutual friend, Johnny, delivered these scallops to your house. I mean, just, look at those.
Oh, incredible.
Amazing.
Like, absolutely beautiful. Hand-dived.
Yeah.
What always fascinates me with something like this is just, you know, that to me is like absolute Mother Nature and how long that takes to grow. It's about 8 years to sort of get to that size. So I'm going to do one in slow motion, and then I'll...
Slow motion?
Slow motion,
motion?
yeah.
Slow motion?
Slow motion.
Go on, then.
And then we'll do it fast. So basically, we just take a knife, we just go in there, we break the hinge, OK?
Yeah.
And then just with the tip of your knife, just slowly go down there just to release it from the back of the shell.
It's in slow motion.
OK?
Yeah.
Can you do that
And then we
slow?
and then we just lift up that skirt and just release it from the
Oh,
shell.
they're incredible.
Okay? So you see those
Do
are
you
still
use
moving.
the rest of this for some?
Yeah,
form of-
everything. We're gonna use pretty much most of it for this dish. So as you can see, we just go in. We're gonna use two, and then straight down, break the hinge, and then just over. So you see that nice and clean.
Yeah.
And as a chef, like when I first learned to do this job, even now when you're open sweat, you're always trying to just get those lines.
Just leave nothing on the
Leave
shell.
nothing on there, and then when they're all lined up, you know, like show the boys and girls in the kitchen, just like it's just one of those amazing jobs, and just unbelievable produce. So I'm gonna do 3.
You seen the legs doing that while he's doing it?
What's that? The legs on my
the legs on the chicken.
on the chicken. Oh, it's a chicken, is it? I thought it was a turkey.
It's not a turkey. It's my house. We don't do turkey in my house.
Oh yeah, you hate turkey, don't you?
Oh, dear.
A turkey.
I thought it was a Poussin from Norfolk.
So we're just gonna remove. It's gone. Just pop those on there. And just look at the
Where
size.
the from, Paul?
The Orkneys.
Oh.
So
Super cold water.
yeah. And just when you watch them go out and go down for them, and just like one by one, just absolutely amazing. Now, like I think you just asked there, James, do you use everything? Yeah, we do. So we use the skirts, we put those in stocks. That little white mussel, great for sauces. And then here with the roe, we'll just cure that, okay, and then dry it, and then we just turn that into a powder.
It's what they put on crispy seaweed, isn't it? In the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's the scallops done. Ready, open, and we are just simply going to slice those, serve them.
Yeah.
I can feel the legs moving on my head, and you keep laughing at me. And there's this shadow there that they just keep moving around.
You're looking good, chef.
Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah,
You
especially
love it.
chef on Christmas Day. You
Oh dear. Right. Okay.
What's next?
So, next part of the dish is we're going to make the pickle. So I've just put in here some salt, some sugar, some mirin, some water, OK? And here we've got some thyme, some star anise, all right?
So this is the pickle for the kohlrabi.
This is the pickle for the kohlrabi, which we'll come on to. We've got some ginger, OK? So we just want to leave the skin on, because this is going to go, as you can see what's in front of you there, into that jar, all right? Now, again, you know, you see kohlrabi now in shops, supermarkets and that, and it's like, I love kohlrabi. You know, because sometimes...
You've got a garden at the rest of you must grow it. I grow it at home. It's fantastic.
Yeah, we do a tagliatelle.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your pickle. That's all the ingredients gone on for your pickle. Then the next step, this is your kohlrabi, and as you said, you know, it's a brilliant vegetable also as well. It's kind of, it can be much more consistent than like turnips. That sometimes can be quite woody in that. So just simply top and tail it like that. And we just peel all the way around.
So you can use other vegetables going for the hot pickle.
Absolutely, yeah. And to be honest,
celeriac and stuff like that. But and you can also, I was in the supermarket the other day. You get the mouli now in the supermarket.
Yeah.
You know, that's another great thing to use.
well, I think like me and Sat always talk about this, but I chose this. You love scallops. This dish actually came from the one I did when you invited me to the restaurant. You know, the one we used to do with the cabbage and the scallops. And when me and Ems once when we came to eat with you, and you were just testing the kohlrabi tagliatelle with the ragu. Here, the seaweed. And this is what I love about our industry. We all learn from each other and that. And Sat introduced me.
We all nick recipes from each other, don't we?
Well, you know, in a nice,
Have you
respectful
tried
way.
monkey bread?
I have, yeah. I've eaten it at Paul's, yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, since then, he's used it.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
Have you credited Paul James?
He cannot get enough of it. So the dry seaweed is just
Back on point.
brilliant.
Go on, back on point. Where do you get the monkey bread recipe from, Chef?
Where do what?
Where do you get the recipe from?
The monkey bread?
Yeah, where do you get the idea from it? You know, that famous dish that you now put on Instagram all over the place. that Cornish traditional dish. Where did that come from? Is it?
Cornish traditional dish.
I thought it was from Devon,
Oh dear.
Good job. I love both of you, isn't it? Yeah, just.
So now you see, with this,
Change the subject, go on.
change the subject. So we slice the kohlrabi, and we just bring that basically all we want to do is just burn off some of that acidity, all the flavour of the meringue, and we just want to bring that to like basically the boil, okay? So
Yeah.
that's the kohlrabi. Now that comes up, and just simply pour that pickle over. And as you can see, the ginger, the star anise, everything.
Yeah.
Just basically.
And you do that while it's still hot. You don't need to let it cool.
No, because you want it to kind of just
cook.
slightly soften. You'll see we've got some here, so it's got loads of texture. Yeah. And now just leave that. That just gets better and better and better, and just kind of the acidity goes into that kohlrabi. So that's that. So here we got the kohlrabi, which
So
like
that's
sushi.
this, just diced.
Just diced. So just like that, which I'll show you now. So that.
It's nice.
Can I just show you that Ralph is obsessed with chicken, and it's made him slightly confused.
What is he looking at me?
He's looking at you. He's looking at you and thinking.
He's licking his lips.
He's looking at him, just going, give it 5 minutes. I'm going to go into attack mode.
The kosher curry, which is like the really good top quality like rice.
Right.
It's not like a long grain. It's like a real stumpy grain. It's even more stumpier than say like a pudding rice grain.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to kind of like do it exactly. You just taking it into just a really nice dice like that. Okay.
So this is the pickled kohlrabi.
So that's so already you're starting to build those lovely layers of flavour. So you've got that nice. So in there you've got the anise, the rice wine vinegar, the ginger, the thyme. That's all in there. So what we want to add in there is from the original dish. Okay, so we've got some nice shrimps. Yeah. So the Morecambe Bay shrimps.
It's interesting that food goes through movements and it goes through different. I mean, you look at a decade and people ask me what the next trend's going to be. This is very much on point of what's happening at the moment, because you're doing a lot of this sort of the Japanese influence and the Asian influence. In your cooking.
I was fortunate. I've been 3-4 times. So I first went in 2007, and it blew my mind of the levels of seasoning and delicacies and seasonality, and I think that's happened throughout the industry. But I think when you look at a chef, obviously Paul, yourself and myself, been in the trade a long time, so you end up with this breadth of knowledge of experiences from cultures. And I think that's modern British cuisine. It's a mixture of everything.
Everything,
So we've got the shrimp, the seaweed, some red chilli. Okay, so the red chilli there, James, we've just literally sliced it, took the seeds out and blanched it once, just so you've got the nice flavour of chilli, and it's not overpowering the dish with just raw heat. Okay.
Will there still be a tiny bit of heat in there?
Yeah, a little bit of heat. And if you want to dial that heat down even more, pass basically the water off, put fresh water in the pan and do it again. All right? So we're going to take some. So in there we've got so far the shrimp, the pickled kohlrabi, the red chilli, the seaweed. And now we're just going to put in.
Is this going to be ready any time soon, or do we have to wait for Boxing Day? Or
It's just.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I better get a
somebody
move.
in my ear going.
The Queen's on soon.
About to order pizza.
And now we add that mayonnaise, all right? So that mayonnaise goes in. So we add a little bit at a time so we kind of get it just right. So you don't want too much, you just want it to bind, all right? And basically just mix all of those lovely ingredients in. So it's kind of a bit like a posh slaw.
Coleslaw, yeah. Beautiful.
So you can see there, like, it's just coming together there. So we're just going to add a little bit more of that mayonnaise.
Don't worry, we'll edit this out.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew!
Edit that as well.
Oh, you knew!
I've got a foot switch here. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's a foot switch.
Sounds like a battery-operated squeezy bottle to blow its top.
Yeah.
Happy
And
with
that's
that?
it. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
those lovely, delicious scallops. Going to do you both a dish. All right?
Look how fresh they are, incredible.
All right? And we're just going to do nice, thin slices.
you must get your scallops from up there as well, don't you?
Yeah, Isle of
that's
Skye, Orkney, all that place. Yeah.
That sort of northern part of Scotland, but particularly so the west side as well, all the way down to
It's
Northern
just
Ireland.
beautiful waters, clear lakes, and like Paul said, some of the scallops we're getting are around 15, 20 years old when you look at the shell, because they're beautiful. But there's obviously supply at the moment is a bit scarce.
It's the same with Longasteins, isn't it? Really, it's just that area is just spectacular. It really is. Right,
And that's it. It's as simple as that.
as simple as that, is it?
Just a few.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take our. So just like you would if you were like putting the rice together in your hands, we just take a little bit more. Like that. Pop that.
What are you doing for New Year?
I'm going to be probably doing this dish. I'll start on Boxing Day. Sorry, Paul. He's incorrigible. I didn't mean to say that. Listen, stop.
Don't blame me. It's nothing to do
You're
with me.
bringing out the best of me. I mean, the worst of me.
Now pass me the
Oh, you want that?
tari, where I gave you. All right. And then we're just going to literally brush these scallops. That is. I just got something else which I know you'll both love. Is these? That's the finger limes. All right.
Oh yeah.
So we got the. So rather than
these are
you
amazing.
could top this with caviar, but we're just going to do it again with this, which is basically like a lime fruit caviar.
Just to show everybody what they look like inside. They're like little pearls, aren't they?
Yeah,
Exactly
it's
that.
kind of like lime caviar, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, when you taste them, they just burst in your mouth. Yeah.
You see now how it just looks like, but there's no rice. The rice was the kohlrabi.
Look at that. That's amazing.
But again, just some different flavours. All flavours that you can get and available. You can buy these, and then we just simply take some of that finger lime. We just put a little bit. So what's lovely as well, it's got a nice texture. It's lovely and fresh. And it's light. Dishes like this, they're just full of freshness. It's light. And there you have it, lads.
So give us the name of this dish.
Raw scallop nigiri. Finger lime kohlrabi.
That's what it is. Ready when you are. Go for it. Dust it.
Yeah.
So you're going to finish it off with?
Remember that roe powder?
Yeah.
So we waste nothing. Wait till you just taste the roe powder as well. It's got a real lovely sea taste. So, James, one for you.
Thank you.
Sat,
Cheers,
one
chef.
for
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Looking forward to having a taste of this. Looks amazing, doesn't it? You know, I take the mick out of both of you, but geniuses you are, both in the kitchen. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Cheers, lads. Thank
It
you very
tastes
much.
as good as you smell. More Ainsworth, everybody. Now there'll be more delicious recipes from Sat. You can't believe I said that, can you?
I'll take it.
I'll take it. It is Christmas. It doesn't happen very often. And Top Chocolatier, Matt Tebbutt will be here a little bit later, but join me after the break in a couple of minutes where we treated Eamon Holmes and Danny Jones to some Christmas ham, a massive roast Christmas ham. I'll see you in a minute. It's delicious. Welcome back. Now, coming up, we've got some classic Christmas cooking from Chef Sat Bains and a very special performance from the Kingdom Choir. But first, I'm here in the kitchen with a true broadcasting legend. Put your hands together for the one and only, the amazing Eamon Holmes!
So embarrassed.
Danny's here as well. Your bits to come, fella. You know,
Cheers, Danny.
There's a legend in there. We're all right.
Thanks for having us
Happy
here,
Christmas.
James. Thank you.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's great to see you.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you. And you are a legend. So why am I going to cook a legend? I thought ham. Because I know Eamon's food. He doesn't like... You don't like fussy food, do you?
Well, I like your food, James.
Yeah, but you don't like fussy food.
No, and I don't like overly fancy stuff.
You like tasty food, I know.
Yeah, and that's why Christmas is good. Because
Yeah.
Christmas, you know, wow.
So, talking of wow, ham. All right?
That'll take a while to cook.
Yeah, exactly. You may be here a while. So we've got a hairdresser. We can give you a shave in between time.
Okay.
But this is an amazing piece of ham. So we're going to take our ham, pop it into our pan with some water. So we're going to get this. So get the water on. All right. Get that cooking away nicely. Now, like I said, this is going to take quite a while to cook. So this is going to cook for about 5 hours. Sorry, Danny, you've got the entire pan right next to you.
That's all right.
So,
That's all right.
You cook it and cook it and cook it, and it takes about 5 hours. Now, what you need to do with this, you need to put some aromats in. So, decent amount of water. Make sure it's all covered with water. Now, some hams you need to soak. This one's from a local butcher's you don't need to touch because it's already been pre-soaked. But this is amazing, this ham over here. So
When
make
you
sure
say soaked, is that to do with the salt content?
it's all to do with the brine that they put into it, yeah. And some of it's quite heavy brine. This is amazing ham as well. Sometimes the butchers will do that for you, but some of it can be quite heavily salted. So speak to your butchers and they'll do it for you. So we've taken some aromats. So I've got some orange, some apple, some onion, some bay, all the simple little aromats. All this is going to go into the pan to flavour our ham. So, but it's not about the ham. This is about you. Well, this is about you, and it's been amazing. You know, I've been a fan of yours for years and years and years. No more so than quite recently, because you know, this morning particularly, I know how difficult that is, and how easy you guys make it look. Where did you get that skill from?
Well, do you know what? If you do something you love, it's not like work. And, you know, there'll be people involved in so many things that tend to come naturally to them. And for me, that's what it does. I mean, it's what I wanted to do since I was a kid, and I simply just watched the best and forgot the rest. And
But you were a journalist first,
Yeah.
though, were you? Mm-hmm. We're talking before journalism, your parents said, you're not going into that, you're not going into journalism, you're not going into TV presenting, you're going into a proper job, you're working in a shop, that's what you're going to do. But you were working as a training manager
as a training manager in Primark.
Wow.
Yeah. And
see, I've done my research, you see.
I know, and anybody who working in retail, especially at this time of the year, my respect to them, because that is hard graft. That's hard graft. And what I didn't realise, I mean, I was just out of school. And, of course, you used to being off at Christmas, and this was my first year out of school.
Yeah.
So I suddenly realised, what? I don't get Christmas off. And I just want to say to all retail workers out there, because I know there's often people mention, you know, this branch of the emergency services and whatever, and everybody, and thank you for everybody for what you do over Christmas. But people rarely mention retail workers, shop workers. So for shop workers, everybody...
Absolutely, yeah. And my chefs who are working in the restaurant as well.
Yeah.
So we're quite busy this moment in time. Yeah, it's true though, isn't it? You kind of forget about all that. But when was the moment where you go, right, this I'm actually going to pursue a career in? Because I get the feeling your parents weren't forceful, but they were quite
Well, my mother
Quite honest.
My mother was quite honest. I mean, basically, we were 5 boys there, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to be a journalist, Mum," and she said, "No, you're not. You're going to go out and get a job." And it just shows you that, you know, my respect for my parents was such that that's exactly what I did. So, you know, I did that. Listen to it, and retail being so hard. It actually made me more determined at the end of it all to succeed in what I wanted to do, my chosen career, my love for broadcasting. That's what I wanted to do, and I went off and did it. Yeah.
So when was the decision for you to sort of leave your native island and move across the water? When was that decision made for you?
Well, that was 1986. I was hosting the Tea Time News programme, and the BBC came in for me in Manchester, which was glorious. I mean, to move from Belfast to Manchester, I was homesick, but Manchester's such a fantastic city, and it was the home
pretty
of
good
United.
for your football. Yeah,
Very good for my football.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I was able to go to United, and it was all happening there, and yeah, I'm very happy there, and we always have a connection with Manchester, made many friends there, worked there for six years. Very, very happy times.
But also, you managed to cross channels as well, do all manner of different sort of stuff. I remember watching you on Sky News. You were hosting that, and there was one point where this has got to be the hardest working person on TV, because whenever you came home, whatever time it was, and you worked as a chef, you were on.
I think I was just cheaper than everybody else. I think that's what it was.
No, but you were, I mean, incredibly hard working as well.
No, but everybody works hard.
Does that come from your...
From my family, yes. I mean, I look at my brothers, I look at my father. My father was a carpet fitter. I have a brother's a carpet fitter, a brother's a postman, a brother's a painter and decorator. They do real jobs. They do hard jobs. And no one says to them, "Phew, you were in 5 days last week or 6 days." You know, so it's just my job's visible, and that's what you do.
So we got this is particularly for, so I've got the cloves have gone over the top. We're going to take some marmalade, orange marmalade over the top. Now you can coat this in honey, whatever you want, but orange marmalade.
So just to be clear, this is already cooked.
This is already cooked, Eamon. Yeah, it's not just come out of there. This has already been cooked.
Right.
Cooked for 5 hours.
Taken
out. Allowed to cool down. You can do this while it's still warm, if you wanted to.
Okay, now here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm used to ham being very red. Why is yours a pale colour? Is this not cooked yet, or what happened?
Honestly, I mean, you're buying a cheap ham.
Oh, am I? Yeah, right. Oh, that's really good to know.
It's full of the. Sometimes they used to colour ham. Nitrates and stuff like that. They used to make it, yeah.
Right.
Proper ham.
Well, I've had cheap ham all my life.
Until now. Because what you could do is you can put this in the oven.
Yeah.
So this takes about 40 minutes.
Oh, that's like as if Santa's arrived.
It's like Santa's arrived.
That's incredible.
There we go.
Oh, mate, that is so good.
Oh, wow.
So beautiful. Well
That's
done.
all right. And I've done this, Eamon, because you can take this home afterwards as well.
I can take it home. I will take it home.
Now, the great thing about watching you as well now, together, both of you and Ruth, you're a great partnership. You can tell that great partnership that you are a great partnership. It just works, doesn't it?
But there's no partnership. She's the boss. That's basically. I love when people say to me, "He's so awful to his wife. You should live with her and see what she's like." But she's Ruth's from a military family, and she does things in a military way. So you know, by the clock, she's queen of the kitchen. Obviously, she's in the kitchen today, and you know, I just arrive home and I'll savor the flavours when I get home. Right. But she was saying, "Tell James about my gravy." And I've forgotten what I had to tell you about her gravy.
What about her gravy?
But it comes in a flask. It comes in a thermos flask, because she puts it on the table in a sort of silver jug type thing that keeps it warm all the time.
Okay.
And she told me to tell you about something else, but I can't remember. But anyway, something she was very proud of.
Well, I put this over the top. Maybe you want to text her and find out what's wrong with the gravy. Well, but this is a little bit of hollandaise, just normal hollandaise, butter, egg yolk, touch of vinegar.
Do you know what I think that needs? I think that needs a sort of sprinkling of pineapple or something.
Do you know what I had? This dish probably online. I was going to put a pineapple with it, but just before we started to go, welcome back, Amy went, what are you doing putting that on the top? So I'm not even going to touch that. That's just going to sit in my fruit bowl.
But if anybody wants to be experimental and overly fancy, then that's there.
I think, to be honest, this is good enough. So you've got a version of, well, ham and eggs, really, but happy Christmas. Done. Yeah, well. There you go, Eamon.
Thank you, my friend.
Without the pineapple.
Beautiful.
Yours also without the pineapple.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Tell me about, look at that. With the rosti in between as well.
Yes. A beautiful orange egg.
Poached egg
Absolutely,
yolks, see?
yeah. Just
And the great thing about poached egg yolks, you do those 24 hours in advance. You store them in water, ice cold water. Don't do them last minute. So poach the eggs, iced cold water, pop them in the fridge. 24 or 48 hours they go in there, and then reheat them like I've done in there for 20 seconds, done.
In water again?
Yeah, just reheat them in water. And then the rosti, instead of just plain potato and butter, which is quite greasy, you put creme fraiche and egg yolk in it to bind it, so it's more like a potato cake.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's another thing Ruth and I disagree on. Are you a believer in microwaving bacon?
What?
That'll be a no. Right.
You microwave bacon?
Yeah.
Really?
Because one of the things I can't do is wait for food to, come to maturity. I sort of think the microwave. And do you not find bacon in the pan, which is lovely, but it spits all over the place and it creates a lot of mess? So I think the microwave bacon is good.
Anyway, there'll be more from Eamon and Danny later on in the show. Don't miss my Christmassy bacon sandwich cooked in a microwave. But also, I'll be doing a meringue masterclass. Love that. Make sure you're back in a few minutes when it's time for a recipe from Bains. I bet he did microwave bacon. Anyway, I'll see you in a minute. Microwave bacon? Microwave bacon? Welcome back. Now I'll be helping you make majestic meringues in today's little masterclass. And there's plenty more fun in store from Eamon and Danny a little bit later. But first, I'm here with a wise man from the East Midlands. Do you like that? Do you like that?
I like that,
Yeah, who's followed a Michelin star to culinary success. Well, actually, two, actually. It's the brilliant Bains. So what are you going to be making? Chef?
So I've gone for classic, beautiful dishes that are in between the Christmas and the New Year period that you can do with some leftover potatoes if you want, or as a side dish to celebrate something very humble, which is the onion.
Because your basis of your, we've both been to his restaurant as well, but what's amazing about that, if you look at 2-star and where you are, the standing in globally, because your restaurant is globally always in the top 50.
I think I'm very inquisitive. I just love.
Yeah, but your food
flavour.
is not. No, when you go to the restaurants, it's lobster. It's. But your food is vegetables. You look at that as a base for a lot of your cooking. It's brilliant.
I think ultimately vegetables are underused, and also they can be the star of the show. So I try to elevate vegetables so that they can become on par with a prime fillet of beef.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to look at value as well, what you're getting. So hence humble.
White truffle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Happy Christmas to me from you.
Exactly. Yeah. So what are you cooking for us first then? What's this?
These are the onions. So these are button onions, just been peeled. I'm going to just seal off the onions in a bit of oil. I've added some salt, some thyme. To glaze it with a little apple vinegar. That again gives it some acidity.
Right.
Also, I think it really shows where we are sat, like in the UK, that we feel confident enough now to showcase a potato, showcase an onion. Yeah. Because you've got like the guy today with the Brussels sprouts.
It's cool. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's cool.
The UK is just full of people.
The UK is just full of amazing chefs.
Food heroes growing great produce.
Amazing.
So these are going to just bring down a little bit further. Got some red wine sauce here, which is actually red wine reduction. No stock in this.
Right.
Just 3 bottles of red wine, reduced.
3 bottles of red wine.
We try to.
This is Bains doing simply Bains.
Well, he took the mick out of you earlier.
Yeah, 3 bottles.
Listen, If you're going to
What's
do it,
that?
if you're going to do it, do it properly.
Right, okay.
I can't wait for Simply Sat.
Oh, there goes a tree. Look, sorry about that.
So the tree's gone, right. Go.
So,
Yeah.
bowl.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to start plating up, and this is where it gets really simple. So I've got
It's really simple.
more elements to enhance the dish. So you've got your beautiful braised onions.
Yeah.
I've got some chive oil, again, from the allium family. I've got some red wine reduction,
Yeah.
which is just coming up there. And again, you want some of the kind of the richness and the acidity from there, the caramelisation
So
from there.
where do you get the
the
love of
herbaceousness
where
from
do you
there.
get? Because when you have an idea, because in his head it's got to be like a cartoon character on it. Because in your head you've got it. If you follow, you've got to follow him on social media because you've got these books. You do the doodle books, and in lockdown you actually published some of it, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
The doodle books. It gives you a little insight of what's going on in your head.
I think I've been a very visual learner. I'm not very academic, as you can tell. I'm here.
Thanks very much.
Let's get in, Paul. Let's get in. So the idea
Not
is...
very academic because I hang out with you two. Yeah, I mean, so I've got a chicken on my head. So, yeah.
I think I've got the short straw. So the idea is layers, and again, 30-odd years in a kitchen, and you know, we're in a white kitchen with white straitjackets. Do you know what I mean? We've just been in this box, but you can get so much joy from this evolution of cooking and understanding food and the nuances of
Well,
flavour.
go on, chef. Stop waffling. Just get it on the plate. Go on.
Sorry, I thought, you know, at the same time as Paul did.
Between here and in.
Did you hear that? Thought he had the same amount of time as me.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody.
I've known him longer.
About 4 months by the sound of things. Right, go on. Right, what have we got
So,
here?
chive oil. So again, same family. Again, if you look at this now, it's just starting to build up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to add some beautiful, just 3 bowls, red wine reduction, and and just again intersperse it throughout the onions. You want to eat this with a spoon.
Yeah.
I've always said when you go to a restaurant, it's so confusing sometimes when you sit there and you watch the guests eating a beautiful bowl of food with a knife and fork.
Yeah.
For me, bowl equals spoon. Don't know if I'm the only one who thinks like that. So now, obviously, that alone I think is amazing. We serve this at the restaurant with a little skin of quince jelly and thyme granita, so it's a great vegetarian dish. This
Why did you bring that then? You just couldn't be bothered? Or?
Well, I don't
Because he
know.
knew you were buying the truffles.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly.
Happy Christmas to me. Thanks, James. So now,
white truffle.
white truffle, and don't be tight because I didn't pay for it. And
Sat, keep going.
but you got to think,
How much
right?
is that you just put on there? Just
Anyway,
people-
it doesn't matter about cost, does it, James? Come on, it's about Christmas and generosity.
It's about 50 quid on there, isn't it?
You don't want to ask him to lift that hat up.
Yeah, exactly.
What's under
Just
there?
put 4 more truffles in there.
I've got a pastry breaker. So that's it. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's just the smell is incredible.
Right.
You're going to get the heat breaking into the.
Right, let's put it on there then.
Sorry,
Put it on there. And where's the next one?
The next one's coming now.
Okay,
So
we'll leave that there. That's that one. Okay, you're going to do another one for us.
I am. I thought, you know, it's Christmas. I'll be generous.
It makes you feel brilliant when he does that.
I've just got somebody in my ear going, tell me, and it's Boxing Day already.
Normally he says to me, come on, match of the day's on in a minute, but today it's the Queen's speech.
So, gentlemen, I'm trying to cook here.
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, so if you don't mind, just put that in my pocket. Oh, look.
Go on then.
So we've got this, the next one now. So what I'm going
What
to
have you
do,
got here,
these
then?
potatoes have been poached with seaweed. So again, in spring, Jersey rolls, brilliant.
Yeah.
So again, you're trying to add flavour to it already. We're going to just season these with a pinch of salt, but also cook them in the embers. So you want to take these to a point where it's charred.
Yeah.
And then you crush them up, which I'm going to do now. And then again, something really simple, some beautiful caviar, aged for 8 months. And thanks, James, for the caviar.
You got off lightly with me, I tell you.
I've got the bill. So what have you got here then?
Classic combo with baked potatoes, cream cheese with chives.
Yeah.
I just dress the base of the plate because the idea is this sits on top, kind of dresses it from the bottom. So these are almost ready.
Look good to
I'm
me.
going to throw these in a bowl, which is this one.
So it's kind of both dishes, Sat, really, especially the potato. It's like there's No, like raw salt, is there?
No.
Just natural seasonings, like the cream cheese.
And again, we use
The kelp.
salted butter. Going back to what you said, it's like layering seasoning. So by using salted butter, like a lot of restaurants don't use salt butter for cooking.
Yeah.
I've always used salt butter because
Yeah,
I thought, hang
us
on,
too.
you already got a head start.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah.
So just going to slightly crush these, just a little, to create that kind of ragged surface area. And then what will happen is that will absorb the sauce and the butter better. So I've got the butter here. So you can't beat a bit of butter on your potato. So if you look now, we're just going to sit this on, and it will just sit on top of this beautiful chives, cream cheese.
But this is what I love about you. I mean, you guys cooking, it's a privilege to have you at the house, particularly on Christmas Day, but the confidence to be able to just do that and go, there you go.
But
Yeah.
you know, the beauty is, James, and we talked about it before, that flavour don't lie.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hide behind tricks and all the
No.
smoke and mirrors. What you're gonna eat, you've got to you know make sure that the guests are willing to pay for it, and that's our kind of like default.
Flavour holds the memory.
Yeah. Was that a cracker?
You can
Where
have
did that come from?
Was that a cracker?
Where did that come from? Where did that come from you?
Just it's right. You can have that and use that.
Thank you, sir.
It's all right, no problem.
So, sauce again,
I'm here
just
for another
to
hour. All
I
right?
think you've just loosened that chicken off your head. Your brain's just expanded.
must be that cream.
Flavour holds the memory.
Absolutely.
And now you know the beauty of aged caviar.
What? How do you age caviar?
I think they just leave in the tin.
All right.
So again,
It's a good answer, though. How much? I'm just thinking. He's putting how much? Right.
But listen,
go.
you've got to be generous because I obviously didn't pay for this. But happy Christmas to me from James, thank you.
His face.
And then obviously the chef's perk.
Yeah.
Could have done a bit longer.
Yeah. It's good. You're not good at it.
Another week.
So give us the name of that dish.
Taters cooked on the embers, cream cheese with chives, seaweed sauce, aged caviar.
By one of the best chefs on the planet. Matt Bains, everybody. Right, I'm looking forward
Make
to
sure you
this
get
then.
that one.
Which one is mine? This one?
These two.
I'll
yeah.
take the Paul, you take the front two. Go on.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Bon appetit, boys.
taste
Happy
of this.
Christmas.
Thank you very
And
much.
don't
Happy
say
Christmas.
that James doesn't buy us anything, Paul.
Which one should we taste first?
I think try the truffle first.
Truffle.
Yeah. Dig deep.
I've been doing Saturday mornings for 15 years. That's the best dish I've ever eaten.
Wow, thank you, James.
And I
Mine
know
is
that this
tomorrow.
is going to be the next best dish I've ever eaten because I've had this before.
That's amazing, mate. Beautiful.
That is incredible. Isn't that incredible?
Stunning.
It's a bowl of onions
Absolutely stunning. Well, yeah,
with about 80 quid on the top.
well, yeah, it is.
Wait there, do you want some more caviar?
No, I don't want to.
I will it in a little bit.
This though, this is.
Yeah, that is a great dish.
You know what? There's people are telling me in my ear, you've got to describe the taste of it. I feel very privileged to be sat here at my house having you two gentlemen cook for me. Not for me, but for the viewers at home. The fact that it's costing me about 800 quid is irrelevant because that is the tastiest plates of food I've had in a long, long time. Yours, his, everybody's. And it's a privilege to be sat here to be tasting this. This is unbelievable. Matt Bains, everybody. Both are geniuses, both of them. Right, there'll be more from Eamon and McFly's Danny Jones very shortly. And top chocolatier Mark Tilling will be trying to steal the show, and he's doing a pretty good job of it as well. I've seen it. It's coming out of the boot of his car. It's amazing. Join us after the break when I'll be creating a simple recipe using meringue, perfect for Christmas, and a little masterclass. Give me that. Give me the tin. Give me the tin. I'll see you after the break.
What tin?
Give me the tin.
Just
What do you
do
mean,
to the
what tin?
tin.
Give me the tin.
What tin?
Zap, there's loads of room in here.
I'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Now I'll be serving up a showstopper of a dish for Eamon and Danny a little bit later. But first, it's time for this week's little masterclass. And today I'm going to show you how to whip up a dessert that's perfect for today. You can do it later on in today as well. It's a little meringue roulade, really. It's actually quite simple, but you can fill it with whatever you want. You can just do it with whipped cream. It's entirely up to you. So the first thing you're going to do is have a drink. It is Christmas after all. So, meringue. I've got in here 5 egg whites that I'm going to pop on here as well. Now, a lot of chefs will tell you to use frozen egg whites or older egg whites. I don't believe that, and I've been a pastry chef for years. I just use the fresh egg whites. I think it's much, much better. So 5 egg whites. Usually it's about and roughly between 45 and 50 grams of sugar per egg white. So I've got some caster sugar over here, and we're going to whip this all up to a nice little meringue. Now, while that's happening, we can then concentrate on our tin. It's quite a large tin over here, and we need paper for this. And what you want to do is you just get the tin, so it's roughly about 1 inch all the way around. Now, the best way to describe this is take each corner and cut it with a pair of scissors. About 2 inches in. That's what you want on each corner. Like that, straight in here. When you're doing this, it's like wrapping a present. Look. Now, the reason why we do this is that when you're making a Swiss roll, you want a perfect edge to the paper. And when this tucks into the edge, it doesn't crease. So when you tip it out, you can use all the sponge. You don't need to trim it out afterwards. So that'll sit in there in a minute once we've made this meringue. Now, there's several different ways to make a meringue. And funny enough, meringue is said to originate from Switzerland. And there's a thing called a Swiss meringue, where you actually add the sugar to the cold egg whites, warm it over a pan of hot water until the sugar disappears, put that on the machine and whip it all up. So the sugar's actually added to it before you whip it. But this is a classic simple meringue, cold meringue, where you then add the sugar to this. You probably hear the machine drop down a gear as it starts to thicken up. Now, ye olde times, you used to have to fold this together and fold in the last third. Don't need to worry about that. Just get it in. Just get it in, particularly with a machine like this. So start that on there, and we've got our little bit of meringue. Now, before I do anything, I'm just going to pop our bowl on here, ready for our filling. So that's going to go on there before I do my meringue. There we go. So that's that. Then once we get to this stage, you can take your meringue, pop it all on here. So you can vary, obviously, the amounts of meringue. You can do a smaller one if you want, but let's face it, at this moment in time at your house, carnage is probably happening while we're doing this. So we're just going to take a little bit of the meringue. So this is where you can lock yourself away in the kitchen later on today and make one of these. So you spread it all out evenly into the corners like that. Should be about 1 centimetre thick. That's roughly what we're looking for. So it obviously depends on the size of the tin, it's how much meringue that you're going to make. But at this moment in time, it wants to be just over about 1 centimetre thick, because this will actually double in height as well. So once you got to that stage, looking pretty good. Lose that to one side. Quick wash that, because I need that. Then we can then sprinkle this with a few bits of almonds. You don't have to use the almonds. You can just do this without. If you want to use a little bit of hazelnuts, it's entirely up to you, whatever you want. You can do this with or without. Now, the oven is quite important for this. So you need to set the oven at 180 degrees. That's about 360 Fahrenheit. And you want to cook this for exactly 8 minutes. The timing of this is quite crucial. So 8 minutes at 180. Then after 8 minutes, drop the temperature of the oven down to 160. Just by opening the door and leave it to cool a little bit. Drop the oven temperature down to 160 and cook it for another 10 minutes. Because what we want is the meringue, we want it pliable. We don't want it to crack too much. Now, it will crack with it being meringue, that's fine. but we want it to be pliable so we can actually roll this up into roulade. And that's what we end up with, is this meringue over here. So it will crack, don't worry about that. It's not like a classic Swiss roll. So it's a meringue roulade. It's very, very different in terms of what we want it to do, but we certainly don't want to cook the meringue all the way through, otherwise you'll never be able to roll it. So the filling for this, I'll get on, is double cream, just a little bit. And then I've got some chestnut puree. Now, I love this stuff, but this is, again, purely optional. You can just do this with vanilla, but this is where you can mix and match the different flavours. So it's entirely up to you, but chestnut puree is amazing. That goes in here. And then I can pop in some of this. This is a bit of chestnut liqueur, and this is where you can change the flavour of this massively. You don't have to use this. You can use a bit of brandy. It's entirely up to you. You can just use vanilla. But you want to whisk this all up until you get sort of this firm cream. Now with this, we're going to do these biscuits, these little twirl biscuits. And the twirl biscuits are made using icing sugar, flour, egg white and melted butter. But it's a simple little biscuit paste. And you mix all the ingredients together. It's very, very simple to do. And then you end up with this. You end up with a pliable biscuit. What I've done is I've taken a sweet lid from last Christmas, or maybe for this Christmas, but we've eaten them all. This one, but you cut this little template out. And what you're doing is creating this little template of leaves. Now, again, this is purely optional. This is all about building texture. So that what the biscuits will do is just give you textures and make it look really nice. It depends. If you've got time today, you can do this. I mean, tomorrow this would be wonderful as well for Boxing Day. But the idea being you spread the biscuits over the top. And kids will love these because these are the biscuits, these are the famous twirl biscuits that you used to get when you get in restaurants back in the day, 1980s, 70s, peach melba. It used to be served in a little biscuit twirl, and it'd be a little basket. And this is what they'll be made out of. And it's just a pliable biscuit, and pastry chefs will have this in the restaurant quite a lot because it enables you to make a very, very quick dessert look amazing from no time at all. So generally, as a pastry chef, we would have this in the fridge anyway, regardless if it was on the menu or not. Like that. So you've got your little templates. There you go. And then what you do with this, you just pop them in the oven. So this temperature is slightly different. 200 degrees for this one. Goes in for just a couple of minutes, that one. So meanwhile, we'll take our cream. And we want to softly whip our cream, so this is nearly ready now. Keep your eye on your cream. Get yourself a clean tea towel. And this is nearly there. Now, just at the point where it's just about there, I'm going to take some coffee. This is this famous coffee essence. So as it's starting to whip up and start to thicken up a little bit, then just at the last minute, we can then add our coffee and then a bit more and then stop. So you almost get this sort of marbled effect to it, which is in there. Now that's our cream. You can see that. That's the kind of texture that we want. So once we get to this stage, you can then, with a bit of confidence, you want to do this. You want to take your meringue and flip it over. Straight over. Onto your tea towel, like that. So that's that one. And then you peel this off. Now, when you're doing this, be quite careful with it. Now, you see it'll break up a little bit. Don't worry about this. This is not a classic Swiss roll. You're not doing bake-off. You won't be judged. Well, I'm never going to judge people anyway like that. Look. Should all be judged on the taste. Look. And then you take your nice... Look at this. So this is your cream. Now, when you're doing this, the best way to think about this is you want a little gap at the top and you want a gap at the bottom. So fill this with cream, but leave a gap here. So when it rolls out, it doesn't squeeze out everywhere, like that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to judge on the perfect roll. We've got enough stress going on today. with this, what you want to do is you want to start off with having another glass. Because you may need it at this point, let's be honest with you, because the dogs pull the Christmas tree over, the kids are going nuts. My grandparents used to argue which channel they're going to watch the Queen's speech on, so you'd need a drink. Granny used to have the BBC, my auntie wanted ITV, it all used to properly kick off. But look, what you want to do is you just roll it all up. Now, when you roll it all up, keep the tea towel quite tight. And when you roll it up, you push the tea towel towards you. So rather than lift it up this way, pull it towards you. So you're actually creating this tight, you probably see it over there when you're doing this. So you roll it over, flip it over like that, and you keep going. And you're rolling it over. Then you need to pray. Because getting it off this is a bit tricky. But look, you then take your bit of tea towel and then lift it up. And then just turn this over. Like that. All right? So it's nice and light like that. Now you can see, sometimes it cracks, sometimes it doesn't. It's entirely up to you, but you've got this amazing tasting roulade. Now, the biscuits, the important bit is you don't overcook these. So they're going to get a little bit bitter. So you can see you've got this lovely little colour to the edges. Now, while they're still warm, they're quite pliable. And as they set, they go solid. Not too solid, they're nice biscuits. But while they're warm, you can lift them up and bend them, you see. And if you put them onto a tea towel like that, you get different shapes. So the idea is just to lift them. So it looks like autumn leaves. And if my garden's anything to go by, it's like a blizzard has happened with leaves. Beech trees, the damn things. But look, you just pop these over here. So they're pliable when they're warm. And when they go cold, they set. Now, you can, if it does set too solid, you can just flash them in the oven to soften them up again. You'll only probably get away with that once. It doesn't really happen a second time, but if you get them too firm on the tray, just flash them back in the oven for about 20 seconds. They'll start to soften up again. But very, very quickly, they'll firm up. And if you lift that, look, you get these amazing biscuits. Really simple, that we can just pop these on here. And then this is where you can experiment with different colourings, flavourings. This is a little bit of edible spray, like that. So you just put a little bit of this over it. Just a nice bit of colour. This is going all in my hair, it's going everywhere, this stuff. It's going all in my jacket. See, we got this amazing lady called Sam Head. She does all the food on here, all the shopping. She goes, this is amazing, this new thing, this is great. It's all over me. It's everywhere. So then he takes, it really is genuinely everywhere. Then we take some silver stuff. Is this actually edible or is this makeup? She said she got it from the supermarket, but I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, but look. There you go. I think Paul Ainsworth might want a bit of this. Be taking that home. So look, we got in here our meringue roulade, and then this is where we can experiment with different things. So a little bit of cocoa powder, just a touch, over there. A little bit of ice and sugar, over the top. And then I use these. This is where all these countries sort of coming together. These are little marron glacé. These are amazing things. I'll just open these up. And this is where this dessert comes from all over Europe, really. You've got the meringue from Switzerland. Chestnuts were said to originate from Italy in syrup, way back. But it was actually the French that sort of candied them, and they produced these amazing marron glacé, these famous marron glacé that, particularly this time of year, Christmas time, these are so, so famous. They're just amazing. If you've never tasted one before, get them. because, well, particularly Boxing Day, because they'll be half price. I turned all northern then, didn't I? But these could, sorry. Sort of spread the joys of Christmas. But this is genuinely they'll be half price, because these could be about 30p each. But you got marron glacé, and then and then we take our leaves with makeup on them, and you can pop these all over the top like that. It's something fun, really. Different sort of textures over the top. So there you have it. Kind of, I don't know what's more covered in glitter, me or this thing, but it's pretty cool. Bit of fun. There we have it. So my little meringue roulade covered with autumn leaves, filled with a little chestnut mousse in the middle. How you eat it, I've got no idea, because that's not my problem, because at this moment in time in my house, I need a shower. Cheers. Not bad, that, is it? Right, still to come this Christmas, I'll be whipping up a sirloin steak with waffles for Danny and Eamon. But we'll be back in a minute with the Willy Wonka of Winchester. Mr. Mark Tilling will be here. Don't miss this. This is amazing. Not quite as good as that, but amazing. Welcome back. Now, I'll be cooking an amazing steak and potato waffles for Danny and Eamon very shortly, and we've got more from the Kingdom Choir. But first, I'm here with the man who created this. He's a great friend of the show. You've seen him in Creme de la Creme. He won that. He's won all the chocolatier masterclasses around the world. He won everything, basically. It's a great friend of the show and mine. Mark Tilling, everybody.
Thank you, thank you.
We're going to get onto this in a minute. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. You're going to explain how to make this in a second. What are you going to be creating for us
So
then?
today, I'm going to show you how to do, I like a sticky chocolate vegan cake.
Right, OK.
OK, because vegan's quite popular at the moment. There's lots of people that are becoming vegan, so I thought, why not show you something?
Why not, indeed. Absolutely, yeah.
So in here, we've got, to make the cake first, so I've got sugar and some vegan butter. So straight in with that, get that mixed in.
Now, you have got the ultimate job, haven't you, really? I mean...
What, working with chocolate every day?
Yeah, pastry chef by trade. We work together, it's kind of not sister hotels, but...
Yeah, from...
Competitive hotels, shall we say. Back in the day, I was the head chef of a hotel down the road. Matt was pastry chef of one just further up into the hills there.
That's it.
In Winchester. But it's... what made you fall in love with chocolate? How did you go from that into chocolate?
I think chocolate's just such an interesting ingredient. Like, you can get it from all over the world. There's so many different artisans now making chocolate from scratch in this country, which is fantastic. And there's so many different varieties and what you can do with it. Like, obviously this.
Well, obviously, you can easily do that. We're going to get onto that in a minute.
To all the little decorations, to all the different flavour cakes you can do.
And it's interesting the way, many people look at chocolate. They look at dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate. I mean, you guys look at it way beyond that. There's so many... Last time you were here, you brought this pink chocolate.
The ruby chocolate, that
hasn't got colour in it. It comes from...
Purely natural from the bean. So we're trying to keep more natural, using more of the bean, more of the inside to get it really that great flavour and, bring it out.
And you brought me this stuff as well that you're not using. What this is something else as well, this one.
So this is whole fruit chocolate. So the reason why it's called whole fruit is because we use more of the actual bean itself. So we're taking the pulp around the bean, we're drying it, making it into like a sugar. So we're using more of it, and we're not using any sugar.
You get an amazing aftertaste from this as well.
Yeah, it's great in application, so in mousses and stuff like that.
So what was the thing you put in before?
So I just put some, the flax seeds went in, so the almond milk, and now I've got all my flour, raisin agents, some little chunks in there as well.
Yeah.
And we get that mixed through.
This is amazing as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great flavour.
And it's interesting, people are on about bitterness of chocolate, and they say, they're worried about 90% is too bitter. It's nothing to do with that, is it? It's to do with the quality of the chocolate. Yeah,
it's the quality of the chocolate. Yeah. That's what you're looking for. It's all about where it's grown, the process it's gone through, and things like that.
I have to say, the flavour of this is good. The background flavour from it is just...
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's amazing, amazing.
So I'm just using a, because I want to do it as like a reef, this cake. So
Right.
just...
I didn't think you would make it any normal way. Yeah, go on.
I'm not going to make a normal cake, am I?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit...
It's like your own homemade bunt tin, I suppose, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so it's good that you...
Bunt tin being that sort of Americanised sort of, circular with patterns on it that everything gets stuck into the holes that they put. I don't know
when you
why they do
when you
that.
haven't greased the tin that well.
Yeah, well, exactly. You don't, but do you know what I mean? They do it so complicated with these holes, and every time you bake a cake in it sticks in the damn tin. It's pretty good to me.
So you get that in.
Yeah. So obviously, I've known you doing loads of competitions and stuff. Have you finished that now? Or is it?
Yeah, I've retired from that now.
You've retired because it is quite stressful. We've seen it on Creme de la Creme, but you were doing. I mean, you were doing world championships, world level.
Yeah. So I did
winning it as well.
Well, that's yeah.
Well, you did. Yeah.
I did the World Chocolate Masters twice for the UK, so representing the UK. We just had our finals a few months ago.
Right.
For the next contestant to go through. So yeah, really.
So you're mentoring now, is that right? Or...
Yeah, so we do a little bit of mentoring as well now, so that next person. So yeah.
It's good, great.
So you're going to glaze this.
So what's in this glaze then?
So we've got cream, chocolate, some hazelnuts, and hazelnut puree, sort of hazelnut paste.
You don't do things by half, do you?
No, you get that on.
Look at that.
We'll give that a little tap off. And then you can keep the rest. You can make that into little truffles, things like that.
So there's going to be people watching this going, tell us about what you've got in here. So this is kind of the stuff that you used to make at the Chocolate Masters, and and beyond that. I mean, this is. I mean, it sounds daft, but this is. I've seen some of your creations. This is basic compared with what you were doing at the World Chocolate Masters.
Yeah, I mean, it's very intricate pieces we have to do for that.
Yeah,
you know,
as well as little chocolates, as well as a bit of everything.
Yeah, as well as cakes. These days they have to do like grab and go things.
Right.
And
so how have you made this? What is if people are? This is going to be hilarious. People are going to be eating their Christmas lunch, going, "Yeah, right, I'm going to make this."
make this.
How can people seriously make this?
Absolutely, yeah. You put your mind to it.
Go on,
you can do it in an hour or so.
I mean, looking at it, when you break it all down, it's sort of Easter egg moulds.
Yeah. So you see the body is a large Easter egg mould, and you've got smaller Easter egg moulds around for his head, some little sphere moulds. So different size Easter egg moulds, different size sphere moulds. The actual sledge was just literally spreading chocolate into a tray and then leaving it to cool and then using a template and just cut around it.
This is edible as well?
Yeah.
Everything?
Yeah, everything's edible. Even the snowballs, even the eyes, even the nose.
So what, you're going to make up this cake now? So.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it together. So let's grab our cake.
So just to recap, this is lots of different sort of chocolate Easter eggs, and then you spray it to get this effect.
Yeah, so the actual reindeer is frozen. So I had to stick the whole thing in the freezer. So I had to stick it to the sledge and then stick the whole thing in the freezer.
Right.
And then bring it out, and then obviously you spray it with the normal cocoa butter.
Yeah.
But you get that reaction
that freezes,
to it. That
so you get that little
yeah.
It's that mottled effect on it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So this is a bit of vegan cream.
So he's even good at that.
So I put a bit of hazelnut in this as well, so hazelnut paste. We've got a little bit of vegan caramel here. So we put a little bit of Yuzu caramel. Let's go a little bit more, shall we? And then we can put our little decorations. So we've got the bigger leaves.
Amazing. It did artistry, though, isn't it, really? I mean, you make, yeah.
So you can see I've just put a little bit of gold dust on these as well, just in elements.
So have you ever fancied opening your own chocolate shop or not? No.
No, never really.
You should do it, because people go nuts about it. They go mad about it. You'd end up with a queue of people wanting to work for you. Look at it.
So you can start to get an idea of.
How amazing does that look?
Oh, these are super fragile. These. So you would have to make like 20 more than you need. There's knowing when to stop though, isn't it? Let's get a few feathers on there.
Less isn't more in your house, is it?
No,
really?
no. More is more, as they say.
So give us the name of this.
So this is a sticky chocolate vegan cake.
Mark Tilling, everybody. You're a genius. A genius. You are really, it's very, very special.
Very kind.
Right, we've got to take a quick break now, but join me again in a couple of minutes. We'll be serving up one more festive recipe for my guests, Eamon and Danny. I'll see you in a minute. That is amazing. Good luck trying that one at home.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the last part of the show. Now, we've got a very special performance, the Kingdom Choir, coming up shortly. But right now, I'm here in the kitchen with my very special guests, Eamon Holmes and Danny Jones. Now, there's plenty more cooking coming your way on ITV today. And here's Ainsley Harriott to tell us what's coming up on his Christmas Day.
Hi, James. Merry Christmas. Sounds like you're having a bit too much fun over there. I tell you what, we've got a cracking show lined up this side. Joining me will be Ollie Smith, who'll be preparing some of his most wonderful festive tipples throughout the show. We've also got our mate Brian Turner here, who's going to be doing a sensational duck dish. We've got the Panto royalty in town, yeah! In my kitchen, Shane Ritchie, along with Queen of the Ballroom, Shirley Ballas. What a show. Merry Christmas. See you all later.
Thanks, Ainsley. Happy Christmas to you, buddy. Ainsley will be here straight after the show, but right now I'll be finding out my final dish, which is right up Danny Street. So this, if you could have written a recipe, this would have been it. So you love waffles.
Love waffles.
And you love steak.
And I love steak.
This is two together.
I mean, it's a dream for me, this.
And we're going to do garlic butter. So steak with waffles. So first thing we're going to do is got this amazing sirloin steak over here. So sirloin steak, we need to cut it sort of a decent thickness, because how do you want your steak?
Medium rare for me,
Medium
please.
rare.
Oh, I'll go the same, yes.
So that's a good job. That's nice. So we're going to take our nice little bit... that was it. So we're going to take our nice little bit of steak. Now, it's important with steak to always cook it from room temperature. So don't ever take the steak straight out of the fridge and put it in the pan. So what we're going to do is take the oil. So starting off with veg oil. You don't start off with olive oil.
Veg oil,
straight
right.
into the pan. Veg oil first. Then the beef goes into a pan. What we want to do is crank up the heat and get this quite hot now. So the steak's cooking away nicely. Waffle mixture, standard waffle mixture. We've got flour, baking powder, milk, eggs, and a little bit of melted butter. Just going to take a little bit of butter and just melt that into a pan. Now, as well as Eamon's been busy, you've been pretty busy this year as well.
Yeah.
On The Voice. I mean, The Voice is amazing for you as well.
Yeah, I love The Voice. You know what? I can't speak highly of that show. To see, you know, kids coming on that stage and singing their hearts out, and just the pure love of music. I just love that show so much, and I love coaching on it.
But when you first started off in it, it was almost a very, very different thing when you first started off in it, in the industry. How did you get into it? Really?
Well, the short version. So I was, my sister was always the singer in our family, and I used to just play guitar, you know, behind my sister, and I thought, yeah, I'm just a guitarist, and then there was a thing called the Stage newspaper. Do you remember the Stage newspaper, Stage magazine? And it used to do, like, auditions.
I didn't get it, Danny. I was a chef. I didn't get it. We got catering hotel
That's
people.
right.
That was about it, mate. Stage what? What?
The Stage what?
Yeah.
And she opened the paper and she was like, Danny, look, there's an audition here for you. Universal Music looking for artists. And then there was a little bit where the newspaper hadn't printed properly, and it said, guitars. That's all I saw, guitars. And I was like, brilliant, let's go. And I turned up there with my mum. It was in Manchester. This is the short version. Turned up.
That's all right, go on.
So I'm in the queue and I'm thinking, I've got my guitar case, got my Parker on because I was into Oasis and thinking I was, you know, Liam or no. And I'm in the queue and I'm like, Mum, why has no one got a guitar here? And she's like, I don't know. And there's this guy next to me literally doing this. You know, stretching out, and I'm like, what's this about, Mum? I think I've turned up to the wrong audition, you know. Anyway, we look at the paper. Someone shows us, like, we ask, we're like, what are we here for? And they show us the proper print, and it goes, no rock singers, no guitars, we just want dancers. So I turned up, and my mum's going, give it a go, get in the room. So I've gone in the room, they've took my guitar off me, and there's a panel of people, and they've gone, right, we're going to play you a song, all get your own space, and you got to dance for 15, you know, for 30 seconds. So they played this bit of music, and there's this guy next to me going like, bum, 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 you know, all these proper moves. And I'm like this, you know, like trying to do this dance move. And I've looked over to the right-hand side, the back of the room. My mum's in through this circular glass, absolutely wetting herself. Anyway, cut a long story short, again, Tom was...
I quite like this story, so carry on.
Tom was filming the audition because he was signed to the management that were holding the auditions for that boy band at the time that was called V.
Right.
So Tom was there and he was like, look, do you want to play us a song? I played Bittersweet Symphony, Mr. Writer, and the panel at the time was gonna, in the future, was the management that I signed to, but they were like, have you got any pop? And it was Paul Adam from Universal Music. And I was like, pop? I said, I'll play Paul Weller. And they all laughed and I didn't understand why. And they were like, Tom, go and teach him a Backstreet Boys song. So I went down the corridor, he taught me a Backstreet Boys song, and I was like, whoa, pop music, wow, that's amazing. Went back up and I played him what Tom, you know, taught me. And he said, mate, you're ace, do you want to start a band? And then...
Really? That's how it started?
Yeah. What are all these other dancers who were there waiting to be selected?
So
they must have loved you.
So they were all... This was after.
Now they give him a kicking on stage.
Believe it or not, I got quite far in those auditions dancing.
Really?
I got down to the last 8 of that boy band.
So, but as well, you're touring as well. 2022 is going to bring you fantastic. I mean, great news. The band is still all together, still performing. You must love that. You must love to be back at it again.
Touring has given us, you know, you forget really, like, when you don't have touring, it's basically no job for us, and it gave us the sense of purpose again, and seeing fans enjoy themselves, and it just made it all, I don't know, you appreciate it even more than ever now, and I think that's even influenced the album that we've been making. I don't know when it's going to be out yet. We're going to try and get something out in January to the label, see who signs it, and just have real fun with it because...
You can hear it in your own voice anyway now. So while I'm just finishing off a steak over here, let's see you at your other job on The Voice. But I'm just taking our steak like that, napping it over the top, the sauce reducing, we've got the waffles on here. I'm going to make a garlic butter while you watch Danny in action. Enjoy this one.
It's Christmas! Did you think you opened all your presents? Wrong. It's the Voice Kids at Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. And if you think that's dope, we got one last gift for you.
We got a new coach.
So, tell me what you want. What you really, really want. Gonna be a legend.
You could tell you love that.
Love it, mate. Absolutely love it. And Mel, the new coach, she's brilliant. I feel like I've known her for ages, not just the 2 weeks that we filmed it, you know. She's brilliant. I love that show. Like, even you know, we've done it, I think this is my 5th series now, and just Pixie and Will and just the fun we have. I think it just makes it easy, doesn't it? When you have, you know, people to work with like that.
It's like anything. It's you know, when you're doing something that you love, it becomes, like you said earlier, it becomes just something you enjoy doing.
And it sounds cliche, but honestly, the kids that come through every year are jaw-dropping. You know what I find the most impressive, though? The way they learn so quickly. They learn and pick stuff up. It's incredible. Love it.
So look, we got the nice coloured waffles
That looks
over
amazing.
here. Then
really good.
The sauce is there ready. Then I'm going to take the garlic butter. So we've got a bit of garlic butter on
Garlic?
here. Garlic butter, yeah. Garlic. So we're going to take a nice scoop of garlic butter.
Oh, yes, and watch it melt.
Yeah. And finish that off. So this is this lovely sauce.
Oh, and the butter melts even more.
Over the top. So there you have it. My steak should be cooked medium rare with garlic butter, potato and chervil and tomato waffles.
Wow.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Right, Danny, there's your steak.
Thank you very much.
Eamon and Ralph.
I think Ralph knows the form. Ralph knows what's going to happen. Oh.
Mate. That is incredible.
Happy with that?
That is incredible.
It's 8 minutes.
It's all right.
Oh.
Divine.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having both of you here.
good.
And to be honest, it's made my Christmas.
Thank you, mate.
You're both absolute stars.
You know you're my favourite chef. You know.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank
Cheers.
you very
Merry
much.
Christmas.
What a great show. There you go. That's all we've got time for today. A massive thank you to all my guests. Gavin Milne, Paul Ainsworth, Sat Bains, Matt Tebbutt, and of course the fabulous Danny Jones and Eamon Holmes. How good was today's show? We'll be back on the show next Saturday for the first time in January, where I'll be sitting in the new year with chefs Gareth Ward and Richard Corrigan and Cold Feast star Faye Ripley will be here. Until then, have a wonderful Christmas. Take care. Enjoy a very special performance of Together Again by the incredible Kingdom Choir. And before we go, don't overcook the sprouts. Happy Christmas.
Time has passed, things have changed. What we have remains the same. We've been through war, felt so alone. Nearly lost our hope, but we made it home, made it home. Tears and smiles, we laugh, we cry. Been so long, but after a while, we reach the shore, troubles behind. We found our way, we'll be alright. We're together again. Together again. Even though it's been so long, we're finally here together again. This time of year, one and all, the love we share, heart and home. We won't look back on yesterday. Faith, hope, and love, these things remain. Still remain. We're together again. Together again. Even though it's been so long, we're finally here together again. Oh, together again. Through the night we still held on. We're finally here together again.